kill, for example, Sheik, much lighter character,
Right.
than Diddy, for example. Like, the weight difference may not sound like that much, but it's actually quite noticeable. Combos, at least.
Speaking of Sheik, he's going to have to practice those Sheik combos again here on Javi, but that's not a Bayonetta I see. You see that character?
Okay, so Tyroy really wanted to play Javi in the rematch, and this is because Tyroy felt like he wasn't playing up to point in winners.
He made a couple flubs.
He was dropping combos. He didn't feel happy with the way he was playing, so he told me he was going to go Donkey Kong.
You know, funny enough, I was at 2GG Civil War. I commentated Tweak versus Javi.
Guess who told Tweak to go Donkey Kong? I was like, yo, why don't you
That's
try?
your doing?
Yes, I did. He called me as he put me as his coach. So he asked me, hey Zero, what do I do? And I was like, hey, go Donkey Kong, try him out. Why not?
Put on the tie and go to work, man. Here comes Tyroy's Donkey Kong, which I think is it's a work in progress. I would describe it as. It's shown some silliness in a couple of these sets here at Ignitions lately.
Actually, this makes you think how wacky the stage selection was for this, because not only do we have blind pick Donkey Kong, but we also have the FD for Game 1. So it kind of makes you wonder what happened, what in the world happened in that stage procedure.
Tyroy just wants this 84%. He's like, you know what? When you pick Donkey Kong versus Sheik, you kind of concede this 90% to start things out. Sheik is just so good at getting this damage up on a DK. Yeah, now DK is like 4 grabs away at most.
Yeah, with DK, you don't really care for the lead, you play for the win, literally. you don't care about the lead. Either you lose terribly or you win.
Yep, pretty much. So Tyroy trying to just find some way to get in here, but not having a good time at dealing with those cross-up neutral areas like Ned was able to.
He needs to up tilt. Donkey Kong has a really good, I think he's up to one of the best in the game in kills, but like the best part about it is that it kind of has a little bit of an intangibility, so like it makes it extra easier to actually time it. Tyroy was not able to touch it once.
Nope, Javi
Not at all.
shutting the door on that stock.
Yeah, this might be bad actually, because if are we seeing that JB3?
I mean, he hasn't touched him once. Like,
and here's the glitch.
Every attempt at throwing out a move has just been stifled here by Javi.
Oh no, this looks. Oh no, no.
Can't even jab him out of a power shield.
Oh no.
No!
Oh no. Oh no, not like this. Oh no, not like this. No, like this. That's
It's a work in progress, like I said. Sometimes
everyone feels awkward in the room right now.
sometimes you just gotta get JV3'd on stream. No big deal.
Alright, at this point, Tyro obviously.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting worried that Mewtwo can just tune in to watch this.
To watch the end of that beautiful video game.
Okay, so let's scrap that game.
So he's gonna go for the down tilt bullets just to make sure he gets damage this time. All right, 2%.
I think what Tyro.
got it.
I think what Tyro. It's just Tyro's in a hard spot right now, because you just got JB3, but here's the thing that matters is that you just lost to this many winners, and then you have a horrible, like probably the worst single start you can have in a new set. So Tyro has 2 problems right now. He has to really step it up, and that's a lot of pressure. And at the same time, you're already down a game. So Tyro has a lot of very, very big room to fill, but you know what? I feel like Tyro, if he makes some mental adjustments, he has some confidence back in, because he said in winners he wasn't as confident while playing, and you can kind of tell he's not that confident right now, because like if you watch his play right now, it doesn't seem that he has like an actual plan while playing right now.
Yeah, you're right.
It just seems that he's kind of like trying to hope for something, like he's playing to hope. But like Javi has a direct plan that you can kind of just see from watching. He's using needles to force the approach. Neutral is to cross him off and grabs as a mix-up. That's his game plan right now in the neutral. And then Tyro's just kind of just waving around, kind of hoping for Javi to make a mistake. But Javi plays this very consistent, not too complicated type of Sheik play, but it's consistent, it's good, and it's really efficient, especially in tournament. And Javi plays it really well. So Tyro's gonna have to make some adjustments right now, especially with the neutral. He's struggling in the neutral right now.
You're right. Tyro is really having trouble getting any kind of like progressive game plan. Like he doesn't have a strategy. Like you're saying, he's just waiting. Okay, he's gonna get this down tilt.
Okay, we might see something. No, Javi DI'd it really high up, and he ended up a little bit higher because of rage. He ended up a little higher than Tyroy wanted, because that could have easily been a kill. I mean, at this point, I will say the stock is even right now, because if Tyroy is able to get a down tilt or an up tilt, he actually can confirm into a kill pretty consistently, especially with a rage.
Or dash attack will just completely throw that out the window.
Now this is hard, because now you're a low percent, so now it's much harder to kill Bayonetta. Or, I'm sorry, kill Sheik. So it's looking really hard. I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it, but this is not looking good.
No, it's not. Tyroy is looking to fall down 2-0 versus Javi in the run back. And Javi, I think, is also pretty adamant to get a run back on Ned. So
yeah, Tyroy and Ned have this kind of rivalry going on. You know, they're both pretty much fighting to be the best player in Chicago, so there's a lot of pride going on. So it's very important for Tyroy to win this, you know, and make it to Ned in a lot of ways.
But this down tilt at the ledge is gonna.
It's just
Tyroy's got nowhere to go.
It just doesn't seem that wise to go for Witch Knight, because the way Javi's playing is that he's not really throwing quarters, he's not really throwing tilts, he's not really throwing moves. He's mainly, then again, grabbing needles. Those are both safe to Witch Knight, but then sometimes he's doing neutralers when he thinks Tyroy's going to jump. And
speaking of the devil.
Here's the thing, the interesting part is that if you're good at doing neutralers with Sheik, you're good at doing up smash, because it's the same logic. You're waiting for them to jump, so you do the anti-aerial. And up smash is the same, it's the same logic. Like, neutral will work the same way there. It's the same type of thought process, it's just that I need a kill, so I'm gonna up smash instead of neutral. It's the same thought process.
A little bit more hard committal, but of course you see the reward right in front of you. That's a 2-0 lead here for Javi, looking determined to run it back with Ned. Maybe lead with the Cloud Ditto in Grand Finals. We'll have to see.
He might Cloud, he might not.
I've seen Tyroy in this position before, though. This is where he like picks another random character and just kind of phones it in. I'm not sure.
I feel like Tyroy needs to stick to his guns, literally.
All 4 of them.
Yeah, all 4 of his guns. Bayonetta. Obviously, you know, I am no position to give him advice or tell him what to do. But right, but then at the same time, I feel like he really needs to stick to his guns. Or play his best character. But then again, all right, let's try to...
You know, Tyroy's Meta Knight, before like you said, Tyroy's best character is Bayonetta, right? But, like, on a day where he's on, his second best character is definitely Meta Knight.
Okay, let's try to understand Tyroy here. I think the reason he went Lilat is because Lilat is a really good pick on his Sheik. If you notice, Javi's main game plan is to throw needles and force you to approach. That's his first step in the neutral. Notice how Lilat tilts and does not let you throw needles. So that means, and he picked Meta Knight, so that means that he's going to be jumping in the air plus the tilt. He really does not want to get needle. I feel that's a big part of this Meta Knight pick. At the same time, Lilat has a really good position with the platforms where you can up tilt through the platforms and get an upper kill. It's a really comfortable spot for you to get consistent kills with Meta Knight. So this is why I feel it's the combination of both Lilat and Meta Knight to avoid the needle play, to avoid Javi's pressing neutral at this point. Though I am going to remind you, everybody, Javi plays a lot with this Meta Knight that goes by MK Lil. So he does.
I hear he's okay.
So he knows the matchup really well. So then Tyroy's gonna have to play it really well. He's not gonna get away with a lot of the simple Meta Knight stuff, or just get off by expecting Javi not to know the matchup.
Watch out!
Almost. He did around 2-3% more.
Yeah, Tyroy's Meta Knight was one of his first big characters. Like, he played Sheik, pre-patch Sheik. Then when Sheik was nerfed many eons ago, he switched over to pre-patch Meta Knight. Was really pushing the meta on that character, and then Meta Knight was nerfed in the same patch that Bayo was out, I think.
And so then the stars align.
The rest was history.
Javi go for a lot of cross-up uppers. See, wow. That is it. The air dodge. So Javi's going for a lot for these cross-up uppers. If you're not aware, Sheik is able to go for cross-up uppers. So if you get a 4-tail in and then you upper, the way Sheik, when she attacks you with the upper, you're able to move left or right. So you can actually land behind the opponent with the upper, and then you can do a cross-up where you mix up with the eye and you kill them earlier. This might be it, actually. This might be it.
Oh, second hit not going to land. Into sneaking past the down smash.
That's it.
No way! Off of the up tilt?
I'm telling you, Tyroy wanted to evade he wanted to specifically avoid the needles on Lila. So then Javi had to approach more, and then Tyroy feel more comfortable with that because he didn't have to deal with Javi's up person neutral because you have multiple jumps and you can land with the platform, avoid the needles and everything. He forced Javi to play differently. That's why it's important in Smash to make the correct picks and correct stage picks, like counter picks and everything, so you can force different playstyles. That's what's amazing about stages, is that you can force people to play differently with the same characters.
Why the stage list and like whether Lilac stays or not, or any of those arguments, like whether Duck Hunt stays or Dreamland stays, those all have such a big impact on the top level meta.
It does. And I mean, I'm a fan of Lilac. I mean, things like that, for example, counter picks like that, we'll lose them out, you know, if we get rid of it. But that's the discussion for another topic. Nonetheless, we need to focus on this actually game 4. See, if Tyroy is able to take this game, he might bring it to a game 5, and then he might actually make Javi a little shaky. If you're able to bring this back to game 5, you can definitely make a player shaky. And I think that's what Tyroy wants.
Tyroy's Meta Knight is a very streaky character, I want to say. Like, there'll be games where he goes for those shuttle loops, those crazy, like, the up tilt shuttle loop, and then just the second hit of shuttle loop just whiffs, and Tyroy's like, I hate this character. I'm never playing him again. But right now, after that very confident game 3, like you said, Tyroy might be reinvigorated in this set. This might be a new lease on life.
I mean, you went from in JV3 to 2 stuck in your opponent. That's a big change. Mental change at least. It goes from you think you can't do it, you might, hey, you know what, you might be able to do it. And even if you're, Tyroy is not winning this game right now at least, but Meta Knight works really well with Rage. If Tyroy manages to land a down throw or an upper or an up tilt or dash attack, he might be able to, might be able to kill with the right conditions. Now this is the golden percent, right? He does the golden percent. He didn't get. He wants to get the tip. He wants to get the very end of dash attack because he has more time to actually full hub upper, but also because it sends him at a better angle. So, but if you get the first hit of dash attack, it doesn't really pan out that well.
Javi looking good here, and I think
full hub needles. Oh, there is.
But the puffball floating a little bit high there, staying away from the confirm.
I feel like that happened because he short hops. If he actually full hub, he would have probably been able to get it. This is good and bad for Tyroy at the same time because he can, if he gets the kill right now,
land. There we go.
If he gets the kill right now, he can just kill him again really quick. Oh,
it's a high reward scenario here for Tyroy.
Tyroy really needs to not lose. If he doesn't lose the stock, he's gonna be in a really good position. Especially because of Rage. Meta Knight and Rage works really well, especially against the lightweight character that Sheik is.
Javi playing smart here though. He's staying on the edge there. When Meta Knight tries to dash attack and he lands it, even if you're on like the very edge of the stage, it's hard to follow up with those up air chains.
But you notice that like how like Javi picked Smash Up because he knows he can actually camp. You know, he's throwing needles. Like Javi relies on needles the most. And any of his neutral tools, he relies on needles the most. Now that he's actually able to camp, it's a lot harder for Tyroy to get in. That's why the Lilac thing works so well.
So I'm surprised he stayed Meta Knight after the stage was selected. Oh, but watch out!
Mainly because probably he gave up a Bayonetta at this point. Oh, that's it, that's it. Yep.
62 after the hit, 0.
I died to that move at 37. That's good. All right, that's fine, that's fine. Tyroy made the comeback he needed. Now Tyroy needs to play this smart. He needs to, he just needs to like understand that this is his chance. He might actually be able to come back from this, from JV3 to should potentially win it, which is wild.
With that said, though, these needles do make it just really hard for Meta Knight to approach.
It does, and you know what's interesting about the platform is that Javi can kind of duck under him. Notice how he's camping under the platform? Now he's going to, probably is going to move to the right side. He's on the right side.
It's kind of like a circle camp, but not really. It's like a line camp.
It goes with the platform,
kinda.
because if the platform is there, it's harder for Meta Knight to land on you and do a follow-up. At this point, this is dead even. If she gets to around 40% or so, it might be bad for Javi because the dash attack, at least a good one, a good dash attack, will give him a death combo.
This is the game you play with Sheik though. You're pretty vulnerable to these kind of rage setups. But
that was it. That was it. You needed to land a dash. Okay, might be it. Depending on the eye. He buffered that. He buffered that really well.
Yeah, Javi's sneaking away.
You know,
Tyroy kind of stuck on this platform.
If Tyroy gets a dash attack, one up or a B, that will kill. So this is the last hit right now. I will call this the last hit. Tyroy should.
Oh, but the lingering nair gonna clean it up, and Javi
relying on the neutralers, like I mentioned. You know, he relies on neutralers so much as the main approach, pretty much.
shutting the door on that Meta Knight who was looking so good up until the very last moments.
Nonetheless, though, like props to Tyroy, though he rallied back from such a terrible start to the set, and then almost having a potential to go to game 5. Obviously, having keeping it solid, keeping up the same game plan from winners, needling out neutral areas like up the aerial, going for grasses mix up, and just keeping up the same like you could define Javi's gameplay as like from the people that have played him to be very robotic. Like he sticks to the basics, but
Right.
like you have to understand that basic does not mean bad by any means.
Yeah.
No, like complicating things or making them more advanced doesn't make them better either. It's a lot about doing the right thing at the right time. It's timing based. Smash is a lot more about like doing the right thing at the right time and